Good morning, America, California, all the states, up to Hawaii, and all over the world. Vinney Chopra here, and Beau, my brother, right here with Vinney and Beau Show. We come live to you at the new time starting 2023. It's going to be 9 a.m. Friday, every Friday. Again, thank you for joining, and we want to thank our guests today also.
And then eventually, Mike doesn't know much about Vinney probably, but Vinney's a big apartment guy, so Vinney will probably talk you into becoming a multifamily syndicator and raising hundreds of $1 million and buying apartment complexes. But welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, brother.
All right, where are you, Vinney? You're frozen. I think you're frozen, Vinney. Hello, everyone. Vinney is walking right now, so he's probably just has bad reception. Let's see if he can come in here. Well, we'll see when Vinney gets here. Hope everyone's doing well. It's another Friday, July 14th. Very exciting. We got the weekend ahead of us. The summer is already here. Oh, no, Vinney, he just left. But anyways, heading to Mexico, July 27th. I'm going to Playa del Carmen for the first time, so I'm pretty excited about that. See if Vinney can pop back in.
Well, good morning, America, California, all the states, up to Hawaii, and all over the world. Vinney Chopra here, and Beau, my brother, right here with Vinney and Beau Show. We come live to you at the new time starting 2023. It's going to be 9 a.m. Friday, every Friday. Again, thank you for joining, and we want to thank our guests today also.
And then eventually, Mike doesn't know much about Vinney probably, but Vinney's a big apartment guy, so Vinney will probably talk you into becoming a multifamily syndicator and raising hundreds of $1 million and buying apartment complexes. But welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, brother. Well, good morning, America, California, all the states, up to Hawaii, and all over the world. Vinney Chopra here, and Beau, my brother, right here with Vinney and Beau Show. We come live to you at the new time starting 2023. It's going to be 9 a.m. Friday, every Friday. Again, thank you for joining, and we want to thank our guests today also.
And then eventually, Mike doesn't know much about Vinney probably, but Vinney's a big apartment guy, so Vinney will probably talk you into becoming a multifamily syndicator and raising hundreds of $1 million and buying apartment complexes. But welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, brother. Hey there, brother. Beau, are you there? Hello. This is so funny. Vinney makes the lemonade out of lemon. I mean, this is the time. Restream, upstream, all these streaming services, they charge you so much money.
There you are.
Zero support. I hate these streaming things. Oh, brother Beau is here. All right. Hey, technical difficulties, brother. We make the lemonade out of lemons. That's the entrepreneurs do. Thank you so much. And we are live. Looks like 3 minutes or 9 minutes, 36 seconds. Our VAs will have to cut out a lot of stuff. Is it live now on your Facebook and everything?
Yeah,
What do you see?
yeah, it's live. Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
okay. Okay. Salute to everybody who stayed with us or who's watching us. So, Brother Beau, how are you? I know we've been having some difficulties this morning.
I'm doing well. I just saw I got Zelled $1,500, I didn't know what it was for, and I just checked. It was from a referral I made, and it's nice to make referrals and get paid $1,500 with very little effort,
Totally.
right? So in
Any
the
day.
past, yeah, in the past
Hmm.
before I was 10x is easier than 2x, I would have
Yes.
maybe had to work on this deal and made $3,000, but I didn't have to work on it, and I made 1,500. So
I love it.
I
I
saved like
love
15 hours of time, and that to me is great business.
Hold
So I'm
on. You
starting.
didn't make 1,500. You made 5,000, brother, three times or four times because you did not have to put your hourly into that to get 2 3,000, you said, right? And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
beauty.
I spent 20 minutes and I made $1,500. I think that's pretty good. Now, how can
Okay,
I get
hold
to?
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stay right there. 1,500 divided by 20, that's three. So you made $4,500 per hour. Hold
Yeah.
on. Wait a minute again. Everybody listening and watching us. It's so important that we do that. What's your time worth? What's your time worth, especially when you're referring business, when you are talking to your clients, your investors, your brokers? That's the productive time, right, Beau? We talk about that, brother. So it's good to bask in this right now, what you just got, $1,500. We need to stay there. And let's see, you said 20 minutes it took you to refer it to some other loan broker, and they close the deal. They might have put 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't know. But for your referral, you're sending this email and text and introducing the client, possibly. Was there a legal contract between you two, or it's just like a referral fee, affiliate fee we call, right?
Well, we are. They work with me in a sense. They're a processing arm that I have.
Yes, yes,
So I
yes,
have an agreement. I basically give them some of the smaller deals
yes, yes.
right. So they probably have 4 to 6 hours of manpower at
Uh-huh,
least
uh-huh.
closing that. I
Yeah,
have 20
yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
So for what I make in that 20 minutes of time. Now, granted, it's my referral and that kind of stuff. So there
Got
is
it.
value. So
Yes.
if we break down everything, Vinny, like where are we spending our time now? I am doing an endeavor where I'm getting paid a certain amount per hour, which is which
Yes.
is $200 an hour, which that's not my ideal situation. I want to make $1,000 an hour, right? I want to make $5,000 every hour I actually work. That right? You want to start measuring. I was listening to a gentleman who's actually in GoBundance, Vinny, and he was talking
Uh-huh.
about when he actually works now between his real estate holdings and everything, he's making like $8,300 an hour, right? So
I
how do
love
you
that.
make your per hour? I mean, Vinny, if we calculated what you made per hour, it would be
You know
crazy.
what? Can we do that? Let's just talk about that. You know what? Well, it's so important for entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, and everybody wannabes who want to make $1 million a year. Let's just talk about it today. So $1 million, write it down. divided by how many hours a good solid CEO will work per day. Let's say 10 hours a day. Usually everybody works 8 hours. They find time to work 10 hours, which is, fluff time, the 80-20 rule, Pareto principle, all that. But let's just say 10 hours. So total, we have 365 days. Now, some of these entrepreneurs work over the weekend also. You know that. So we'll take 52 weeks out, 52 weeks out of 365. So you got how much left? So for the
313,
weekdays,
313 days.
313 time 10. So we work 3,000.
That's
Uh,
3,130.
okay, 130, brother. So let's take $1 million earnings, divide that into 313. What's that number? That's per hour we make. I mean, $1 million producer or CEO.
$319.48 an hour.
Wow, 300 something you said, right?
$320 an hour.
$320 an hour.
If you're
320.
working, if you're working that much, yeah. If
Yeah,
you,
and now let's talk about how much of the 10 hours in a day do we really put the best efforts up to get results. If we say 70-30 rule, not 80-20 rule, brother, then
yeah,
out of 10 hours, we only work 3 hours talking to clients and productivity. Rest, fluff, it's downtime, it's traveling time, it's eating time, it's breakfast time. No, not breakfast, I would say like coffee breaks or whatever we do, right? So what I'm trying to say is that you are making about $1 million income, and you are making $1,000 an hour right now, because what you're doing is 8 hours. If we divide by 10 hours, we just did for the weekdays, we are not really working 10 hours concentrating on building the business. See,
yeah.
you see my thinking, right?
Right. Like if I could get into that zone where every 15 minutes I was making a referral, right? Or closing it. Like that's where you really start. So then the goal is in 8 hours, are you really making $1,000 an hour? Are you every 8 hours you're working, do you make $8,000? What do you actually
Yes.
make when you should start tracking this, and maybe right now you're making $30 an hour. Maybe you're
Mm-hmm.
making $100 an hour. But how do you start
Yes.
moving that up where like so the way my thoughts are, I am doing one thing where I know it's measurable because it's a consulting thing I'm doing, which is paying $200 an hour,
Yep. Yep.
right? So that is a measured, but why I think that's a good investment of my time. It's still a good investment of your time. $200 an hour is a decent wage, but why it's really a good value is because what I'm doing during that time amplifies me in front of a network of bigger and right. So you can't really measure that, but for example, like I would almost do it for free because I'm getting so much more value from being around the people that are,
Sure.
developing $100 million projects and so forth, right? Like so,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually way more supercharged than $200 an hour. So that's when
Yes.
I start
Yes.
measuring, like, will I do something for an hourly task? Because you don't want to limit yourself. You don't want to say, hey, my time is worth $70 an hour. No, you want your time to be continuing to grow where
Yes.
your highest and best version of you, your 10x is easier than 2x. Every hour you actually as focused disciplined work, you can make X amount of thousands of dollars, right? And there's people that, like
Totally.
I mean,
Totally.
what is an Elon Musk or a Zuckerberg's hour? Their
Wait a
hours,
minute. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. The top CEOs in electronics and all these things, they made 150 million. Can you divide that 150 million for me, Beau, and divide it by that 3,000 hours, whatever? Usually people work 8 to 5 job, 2190 or something, 2,190
yeah.
hours a year. But most of the entrepreneurs put a lot more hours, you and I and all others, and let's say
So yeah, like
3,000.
3,100 hours for the year.
3,100 hours for the year. Yeah.
They're making $48,387 per hour.
Per hour, brother. Average household or average earner in USA makes, I think now average income is 41,000 actually.
Right.
So
So every hour,
one
yeah,
person is working whole year, and to make that, which Elon Musk or some others, we just took an example, who makes 150 million a year, and they're making that in one day. No, 1 hour.
yeah. So, so, so yeah, that's 1 hour.
That's
So
one
that,
hour, brother. So they're making 41,960, whatever it was,
so in
for
an
one
8 hour day,
hour.
they make $344,000 a day. Actually, more than that.
Yes.
And then let's say they work 25 days out of the year or out of the month.
A month, yeah,
They're
yeah.
making $8.6 million that month.
You got it. You
10
got
million
it.
bucks.
That's
They're making 8 to 10 million a month. Easy, if not
easy,
more.
easy,
That's
easy.
it. Yeah.
And these are not Elon Musk's. I know some CEOs in the Silicon Valley next to us over here, where their total benefit package is 150 million, 120 million per year, per year.
Yeah.
Now, they may not realize that money right away, but the stock options they get, all these different things, benefits they get. Usually, the real money we get in the, like when I was with the corporate, it was 30% more than what I got earned. It was my benefit package. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing. So if you start breaking down your time, anybody who's listening or watching this in the future,
yeah,
you start really thinking about how precious your time is, right? Because you'll have
totally.
you have a certain amount of time on this earth.
Yep,
And so just think about the value of your time and what you're doing with your time.
yeah,
And how do you magnify, like most of us are working to some degree. Now, not all of us, are working strictly to become a tycoon.
yes,
But at the end of the day, we want our efforts to be rewarded, right? With
correct,
with with
correct.
money and also a
Hmm.
level of fulfillment. So that being said, if let's say if I'm doing $200 an hour and I want to get to $1,000 an hour, so every day I work an 8 hour day, it is $8,000,
Yep,
right? And
yep,
and
yep,
that's a great way to measure if you take all of your income, and that income can come from passive investments like investing
yep.
in a syndication,
Hmm.
which is what I call supercharged income, right? It's
Yes,
basically I already put the time and effort to get that money. Then I give it to somebody else and invest in their deal. They're
yep.
100% responsible for operating and making returns.
Hmm.
And yeah, I have some inherent risk if I don't vet and I don't get into the right deals, right? Or the
Yeah,
economy
yeah.
collapse is in that. But now that money, that $1 million I invested in Vinney syndication is paying me 20 or 30% returns or whatever the number is. So
Uh-huh.
every year I'm making on that $1 million, I'm making $300,000 of cash flow. Potentially I'm getting an
Exactly.
equity multiplier of 2. So my million becomes, an additional million. Plus I've gotten the cash flow. So at the end of the 5 years, I've made X amount in cash flow and I've got an
Hmm.
X amount in multiplier. So now my employees, I went from 1 million employees. Now I have 3.5 million employees
Yes.
in a passive way. And that's how you get the real compound effect. And then,
It's
so
so
what are
true.
things we can do in our lives to have these type of multiplier effects? Just like I talked about how I just got $1,500, which
Yeah.
isn't, it's a good amount of money, but it's not that, it's not going to move the needle that much. But the point is that 20 minutes of time, right? Now, people don't understand that I've built where I can do this because I have the personnel and the resources to do it. So obviously there's a little bit more work in the years past, but now I've built up where I can do that on a regular basis. So then the question is, how hard is it to generate that lead that you can refer out and do that on multiple times? So then that's just one multiplier. Then we're saying,
Yes.
what else can I do a multiplier on? I can
Yes.
say, I can say, hey, I want to buy this business, and I could put 50 grand into a business, and I'm
That
a
we
limited
just
part.
did. That
I'm
we
a
just
little
did.
right. I'm a
Limited
limited partner in
partners.
that, or I'm, we're owners, but we're not the operator, right? So
Yeah,
now
you're
that
not.
$50,000, instead of earning like 2% in a bank account, is going to hopefully earn 20 or 30% a year, right?
Yep,
So like
yep,
50 grand, you get your money back in a year and a half. Now, everything on top of that is an infinite return. And
yes.
then you have your $50,000 investment 7, 8 years from now might be $400,000 or $500,000.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what we want to say to everybody listening to us. When we say 30% per year, that is cash flow as well as equity gain. I wanted to clarify that. A
Yeah.
lot of people might say, in the comments, how can you make 30% per year? It's together. It's together. It's the cash flow and equity gain, which is the name of the game in real estate or any business. It could be real estate and business together. It could be just the business by itself. It could be just the real estate. And that's what it's so important for everybody to just in simple terms. It is not rocket science, but it's really good to listen to our show. Vinny and Beau show, we come live to you at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Put your notifications on so that we can, really teach our audiences. We want to give back to you what we have learned, and that's the beauty of this show. So please give comments and everything. And Beau is going to be writing a book. Beau and I going to be writing a book together. My third book is coming out, Senior Living Investing Made Easy. My fourth book is coming, Senior Hospitality Investing Made Easy, which is I'm going into big time into hospitality arena, in building and buying. I've learned it last 4 years. I bought for 6 million. I sold for 12 million with my partners, made 7 million profit in just 2 years during COVID. And we bought now our Wyndham Garden. Again, I don't mind saying that it's already closed. And we are just distributing $250,000 just this $250,000 to us partners. What an exciting thing. Anyway, no,
Yeah.
please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I was just thinking, and if you really think about the hotel, right? And I'm just using numbers. I don't know what the actual numbers. Let's just say Vinny's portion of that after his partners and his limited partners, he made $1 million. We would break down how many hours Vinny put in that. He probably only put collectively like 40 hours,
Not,
through this
yeah.
2 year time, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Less than
Right.
that,
So
maybe.
So if you looked at that, and this is just off the cusp, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we don't know what the
Hmm.
actual numbers are, but I'm just making an example of how you can start getting bigger upgrades. So $1 million, right? Divided by 40. Oops. That's what is that? A million divided by 40 is what?
Two,
25,000.
25,000. Yeah, got it.
25,000. Yeah.
No, is it? Or 250 divided by 40. Okay, okay. Yeah, 40. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if you only spent 10 hours in it, he would
Yeah.
have been making $250,000 an hour.
Oh my gosh. It's mind-boggling, brother. Bo, I mean, the thing is, everybody should be looking into that because if you don't look at it, if you don't inspect, if you don't try to learn these tricks, then you'll be just in the W-2 job for a long, 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 long time. And that's what majority of the people are. 70% of population wage earners in USA and abroad in the whole world, they stay in that range. But if you want to get to the 30% in the top, or 20% of the top, or 10% of the top, you got to really learn some of this compounding effect, using passive income to having streams of cash flow, I call it. Just like when the mountain, you see all these streams of water coming down, that's what you want to do. Many streams of income, passive income in all different avenues, of course. Whatever, each person's risk profile is different, right, Bo? But you got to wet the deal. You got to talk to, and don't give money to anybody. You got to make sure that we are not financial advisors. We do this show for entertainment purposes only. I need to say that. We should say that in the front part also, brother. Because we do it, it's our knowledge, skills, what we have learned. We just share ideas. but you got to consult with your CPA, your attorneys, your financial planners. We never give advice that you go out and buy something, we just kind of give you education part of it. That's all. Entertainment purposes only, it's called.
Yeah. Always do your due diligence. Always hire
Yes,
professionals, attorneys, just like
yes,
Vinny was
yes.
saying, right?
Hmm.
Always, we see a lot of people, you see a lot of wins on social media, but there's also a lot of people that are losing. So,
Losing,
yeah,
crazy, crazy. I just found out, and you know it too. $55 million is lost by the investors through this syndicator. I don't want to say the name, in the Houston area.
yeah,
55 million, brother. It just went kaput. I mean, the properties were doing good, the rates went up, they couldn't survive. Then another giant came and bought them out, but they got the discount, and the whole equity is zero. So a lot of people, Austin, Texas, somebody just told me the other day, another deal is going down over there. So a lot of these millions of dollars are just getting wiped out. And fortunately, I'm so happy that, we are doing good, and we have sold a lot of assets at the peak, the older ones assets. Anyway, no, I know this is about 30 minutes right now. I know we had some troubles in the front, so we may go a little bit more. I think we talked something really good about today. You know, how to really 10x our that book is so good. Thank you. Thanks to you for bringing in my life. 10x is better than 2x. If anybody who has not looked at it, please get the audio version. Your life will be changed. Your business will grow 10x, 20x, 100x, because you need to spend time. We all need to spend time with the high powerful clients, and or sell bigger ticket items. That's all it talks about. Sell bigger ticket items, not small piddly stuff, piddly stuff, and not really waste time. Give your best, or let your subordinates give best to all the clients, whatever they need. But you concentrate with the top 20% of your customers, clients, and that will take you to the next level, right, brother?
I agree 100%. Yeah. So it's all about really thinking about it. Like if you're going in and doing a like me in my life, I would go, oh, I'm going to buy this duplex because it's cheap and there's cash flow.
Yeah.
But if you really look at the time value and really what your cash flow is, you're really not going to get rich
No.
that quickly. It's going to take a long time.
Yes.
Can you get rich over time owning lots of these duplexes? Of course, but it's going to be a lot more work, a lot longer
Yeah.
process. Wouldn't I be better if, and that's when I started thinking, my
Uh-huh.
last coaching session I had with my coach, Phil,
Uh-huh.
I go, I'm going to stop doing things that I'm always going to think things through as much as I can about pain points. Now, a pain point is
Mm-hmm.
I bought this duplex in the middle or, Indiana or wherever, and
Yeah.
I'm in Henderson, Nevada. The pain point is that if I only have one or two, even if you have a manager, they don't really care because it's
No,
$60 a month to them,
they
right? Or
don't.
whatever it is, or
Uh-uh.
$100 a month. Does it make sense? What happens if you have a leak there? Even with the property manager, you're dealing with overpriced maintenance, all these things. So I
Mm-hmm.
am now doing this whole thing. Anything I get in, if I buy a business, like if I want an investor in a business, what will I have to do and what would the possible pain points be? And do I really want
Yes.
to do that? Because sometimes we
Yeah.
get all excited, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do residential assisted live like senior living in a house.
Yeah.
Does it really make sense for Vinny to do that? That's the question.
No.
You got,
No.
does it makes more sense for him to buy 100 unit facility, not
Yes.
granted, there's a lot of people that operate these single family homes and are
Yeah.
successful, but once
Mm-hmm.
you start getting more wealth, you got to
Yeah.
really look, and even when you don't have the wealth, everything we have to do, we have to think, what's the pain points? And is this the highest and best use of my time?
I agree with you totally, Bo. You're right on the money, brother. See, the thing is, a lot of time we get sucked into, oh, I'm going to make this amount, but you know what? In the best of the best projections you make, the net results will be lower. I mean, the time, the factor, what you are going to be spending time, you will pull your hair out. And it's the opportunity cost of doing something at a smaller scale and the bigger returns of doing it 10 times. So I hope we can leave everybody with that. Please, please, please look at your business, look at your investments, how much involvement you're doing of your time and stress and strain and not sleeping right at night time. It's not worth it. That's so much value of money, which you are just, we cannot put, number on it. Actually, the stress is very bad for health, for life, for relationships, and everything. So I hope this session has been a great one for each one of you who are watching it later on and in the reels and everything. Brother Beau, thank you. I appreciate you. I love coming on this show every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll crush it. We'll crush it together.
All right. The last thing I want to say, because I was talking to a lady yesterday, 31 years old, and she's W-2. She makes about 100 grand a year, and she has 30,000 in savings. Right. That's what she has. She has a very, very small 401k also.
Yeah.
And she's interested in buying a business right. And like now my conversation to her is that you cannot afford to keep your W-2 job and be comfortable anymore. You need to go and buy a business that you can keep your W-2 job, and in a year's time, that business is going to be producing well over $100,000. Now you can start scaling, right? So it might even be you're a W-2 employee, but think about the next step, because that's where you're going to get the multiplier effect. Staying in your W-2 job is safe and secure, and maybe you don't have to work that hard, but most people want to have fulfillment and create legacy. So making that move doesn't mean you have to quit your job today. That might not be the smartest thing, but starting a side hustle, learning how to invest into real estate or syndications, start doing this. This is really going to help. That was my point.
Appreciate that. And we'll see you next week. Next week, Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 noon, actually, Eastern time. So good luck to you. Have a blessed Friday and a great weekend. God bless you. Well, good morning, America, California, all the states, up to Hawaii and all over the world. Vinney Chopra here, and Beau Eckstein, my brother, right here with Vinney and Beau Show. We come live to you at the new time starting 2023. It's going to be 9 a.m. Friday, every Friday. Again, thank you for joining, and we want to thank our guests today also.
And then eventually, Mike doesn't know much about Vinney probably, but Vinny's a big apartment guy. So Vinney will probably talk you into becoming a multifamily syndicator and raising hundreds of $1 million and buying apartment complexes. But welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Brad.